and welcome back to Building the Boys. We now have issue 79 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. Now, I know from the lots of messages I've had today, where's the next two? Right, so just to clear that up quickly. Sorry there's been a delay. One, the Postal Service delayed these getting to us, so they're later than we want them to be. Two, my wife was called out to an emergency last night for work, so it delayed this. But they're here now. So without further ado, let's get this one open, let's get this build. And if you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe, it helps the channel massively. At the end of this one, we stick around for our Titanic talk. It's seconds out because we're talking about a boxer that was on the Titanic. There were two boxers on the Titanic, so before you jump on me, so you didn't mention the other one, we are going to tell his story. Today we're focused on one of those boxers. Remarkable young man. But let's get this built, then we'll have a chat. Okay, so let's get this one open. Now, this is pretty much a repeat of 77, with a minor difference of the fact that we have the parts installed. So we can see there are our bolts, there's our washers, and this is our whole piece. Now, you've all said to me, why don't you use the free toolkit that came with it? It's easier than use the Allen key. Agree with you on that one. And if I knew where it was, I'd use it, but since the move, not a clue. So we'll use the Allen key. It's not that many. We'll get through it. So what we're going to do is we're going to install this into the other side of the ship, and it is just one screw in this one. Again, it does say if you want to use the washer, use the washer. If you don't need to use the washer, don't use the washer. So the choice is yours. We'll see how this one fits. With the 3-in-1 oil, I don't really feel the need to use the washers. I didn't use them in the other side, so we'll see. Maybe we need to use them in this one, maybe we don't. Maybe it'll be slightly easier because we're going to be hindered by the other section of the ship. But let's turn this one over. Let's get this installed. Okay, so this section we're dealing with, quite simply, we're going to take this section here, we're going to attach it to there. Now, we're going to see how far down this will screw. Hopefully, all the way, so we don't have to use the washer. I'm going to magnetise the hell out of the Allen key though, so that will hopefully avoid any nastiness of falling into oil. Has that worked? Yes, it has. Beautiful. Right, so in we go with our screw. Drop that one in there. Whoop. There we go. Right. Now we're going to screw this down until this tightens up. 3-in-1 makes this so much easier. There we go. There we go. Loose. Gonna back out, use the washer. Take two, let's try it again with washer. Just wasn't happy. It was, oh, for God's sake. That's me trying to put two washers on. Well, because it's so short, I'm gonna keep rolling. Because I don't think it makes a difference at this point. Right, there we go. I despise Allen bolts. There we go. Yeah, it would be easier to use that little toolkit, but as I said, since the move, no idea where I've put it. But we'll get one for the next time we do this. There we go. There we go. Right, so in nice and tight. Happy. Still loose. Still loose. Right, I'm doubling up on the washers. How would you look at what Scott found? Right, hopefully life's about to get easier. So much easier. Yeah, I swear by that. Beautiful. And tight, happy, firm. Yeah, so there was a use for the free gift after all. Fantastic. Right, let's have a chat. One done, and wow, yeah, the free gift finally had a usage, and that made life a little easier. This is how we're now looking, so you can see what we've just put in there. Wow, look at the size of this thing. It's ridiculous, right? Look at that. Come on, that's insane. Now I'm massive, so this is huge, but nice and easy. I mean, it's say that it would have been nice and easy if I'd used a screwdriver from the start. but all done. So we're happy. We're happy with that. This come along nicely. I wish there was a lot more to do. I always do when it comes to Titanic. Titanic's my favourite part of the month. So to have so little to do in these is a bit of a, yeah. But I mean, that's going to be the way it is, isn't it? It's just how it is. That is all for this one. If you're just sticking around for the build instructions, however, if you're sticking around for a Titanic talk, we are talking about this fine figure of a man here. Take a look at this guy. That is David John Bowen. He was 20 years old. He was fighting out of Rhondda, Wales. He was one of 2 boxers on board the Titanic. He was with a friend who we will honour. We will also tell his story at some point as well, but today we're focusing on David, or Di as he was known. So to friends and family, his name was Di, and also that was his boxing name as well. He'd had 8 fights prior to boarding Titanic. 8 fights, 8 wins, welterweight. He had won the Welsh welterweight title. And as the world was getting smaller with international transport now becoming affordable, America was calling for European fighters. They wanted to see different styles of boxers. So the opportunity was there for Di to go and make his fortune in America as a draw, you know, battling out of Wales. So a series of fights were lined up for him in New York. One of them was going to be a very big deal. It was against one of the best welterweight fighters in the world at the time. And it would have been an exciting time for him. It really was. He'd never left his home before. He'd never been. He'd been around the British boxing circuit, but he'd never been away from home for this length of time. But he knew it was an opportunity. So he and his friend booked passage on the Lusitania to visit America. But Di, and this is ominous, had ordered a suit that wasn't going to be ready in time. So they delayed by a few days and transferred their tickets to the Titanic. Now, with Titanic, they were third-class passengers, but because they were professional athletes, they managed to arrange a deal with Titanic where they were allowed to use the first-class gymnasium. So these gentlemen would use the first-class gymnasium every single day they were on the boat. They also wrote letters home to their mothers. So we get a bit of a glimpse of what life was like for them. And they mentioned that the living quarters are very nice. The food is great. They said they wish they had boxing gloves. They didn't have any boxing gloves with them, so they couldn't really spar or anything like that. But they made use of the gym, which is good because I don't know how many of the first class passengers were. But they were enjoying it and they were having a blast. They were having a whale of a time on board Titanic. Unfortunately, neither man survived, and Di's body was never recovered from the water. His friend's was, but again, we will tell his story another day. But Di's body was never recovered from the water. And they were remembered, so they were honoured in Wales. They still are remembered this day. So in the Welsh boxing scene, they are still known because who knows what they could have become. You know, they could have been the champions of the world, but we'll never know because sadly that was their fate. There is another irony to this as well. We spoke about the coal strike in the last one. Di had literally been part of that coal strike. When he wasn't fully pro, he was a coal miner, and he was part of that strike, which also caused the dismay to the vessels. And it's fate loves irony, doesn't it? So that's what happened there. But God bless them. They were both lost on that night. That is all from me for this one. We will be back with the final one of this month with issue 80 of Hachette Built the Titanic. We'll add in yet more Hull. And we will also be talking about, of all things, dogs. So we'll be talking about dogs of the Titanic. There were a lot of them on there. We'll talk about whose they were, why they were there, and what happened to some of them. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. People must both like and subscribe if you haven't yet. It helps our channel massively, and we love having you on for our journey. We'll be back very, very, very soon. I promise you, very soon, with issue 80 of Hachette Built the Titanic. I'll see you then. Take care.